Illinois Governor Bruce Rauner. Governor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, Riley. How you guys doing on this beautiful day?
We are terrific, Governor. Thanks for taking time out of your schedule to join us this morning.
Oh, no, my pleasure. Hey, before we start, let's make sure your listeners are careful. Today is supposed to be blistering hot. Take care of your neighbors. Make sure folks stay cool. It's going to be a rough, hot summer day.
Yes, it is. So, yeah, make sure you avail yourself of a cooling center if need be, and take care of the animals as well. Governor, got to ask you, because last week I think many of us smiled, those of us who follow and support what you have going on, when John Cullerton pointed out that you just don't seem to understand the nuancing nature of governing.
That's pretty humorous. The president and the speaker have been running the state for years and years, and they've run us into the ground financially, and they've chased away employers and high-quality jobs, and we've just got to fundamentally go in a different direction. So, you know what, we're going to just stay persistent and stay strong. We're negotiating with them in good faith. They passed another unconstitutional, unbalanced budget, $4 billion in the hole, and they're just pushing me to raise taxes. And I've said, look, guys, we can't keep doing this to ourselves. The people of Illinois deserve better. We're gonna get a balanced budget. I'll negotiate with you on spending and on tax structure. We need a competitive tax code. But the critical thing is we get structural reform so we can grow our economy and bring good government into Illinois. So term limits, redistricting reform, workers' comp reform, tort reform, control of property taxes at the local level so we stop having our homeowners' taxes go through the roof. These are things we need to do to restore good government and grow our economy. And only if we do those things will I talk to you about the revenue that you want to increase on taxes.
Governor Rauner, I want to get to the budget specifically in a moment, but speaking of Senator John Cullerton, the Senate President, he had a news conference last week. There was one little portion where he talked about you and your agenda. I wanted to get your response to quickly. This is Senate President John Cullerton last week.
You know, he almost lost his primary because of union, because he didn't know that there's Republicans in Illinois who are pro-union. And so he doesn't have any support for his proposals in his own party, other than the intimidation of having a bunch of money. This is a supermajority of Democrats and a bunch of pro-union Republicans in this state. This isn't, you know, Oklahoma or Kansas. And so he's got to understand that he ran for governor in Illinois, and he's got to look at the realities of the legislature.
Yeah, for Oklahoma or Kansas, but he'd be in a better financial situation right now. Two questions on that, Governor. First, do you retain the support of Republican lawmakers right now through this crisis for your turnaround agenda? And secondly, on the back half of that Cullerton comment, isn't it time that John Cullerton and Mike Madigan realize this is a different time? You won in November across the state, not in a gerrymandered House district of 16,000 people.
Oh, that's exactly right. Yeah, no, we've got overwhelming support of Republicans in the legislature and, frankly, around the state. But you know what? We've also got incredible support from Democrats around the state and independent folks. We've got people from all over, all walks of life, all political persuasions have come up to me as I travel every day, and they say to me, Governor, you know what? Our state's going in the wrong direction. You're saying what needs to be said. You're sticking to your guns. And many folks have said to me, Governor, I'm a Democrat. You know what? I've been a Democrat my whole life, but I support what you're doing. I support where you're going. The Chicago political machine has run this state too long to run us into the ground. Speaker Madigan is too powerful. He controls too much of the legislature. We've got to get power back to the people. Governor, hang in there. Don't back down. I hear that dozens of times every day.
Well, and it would seem as well, Governor, that even for people who don't follow politics to the nth degree and aren't aware of the ins and outs, and maybe even on whose team, who plays for whose team here, but, you know, the evidence is incontrovertible. We've been going the wrong way for a very long time, and you've got people down there who want to just floor it and keep on down that same road.
That's exactly right. I mean, they argue with me, they say, Governor, you know, we're protecting the middle class. You're going to hurt the middle class. And I say, guys, look at what's happened to the middle class in Illinois for years and years. We've lost 275,000 people out of the state. Well, people who could choose where to live have left the state the last 10 years. We've lost 300,000 manufacturing jobs the last 15 years. We've lost 97,000 union jobs the last 10 years. Guys, you are devastating the middle class. You are devastating the working class. I'm the one that's going to protect them and grow the middle class. What you guys are doing is protecting the Chicago machine, and you're protecting the political class in Illinois. Your legislators, and this is still frosty, right now, Madigan and Cullerton have taken a pay hike for themselves and the members of the General Assembly while we have no budget, no reform, and a deficit. I can't believe the gall of these guys. And they've got a $4 billion hole. They're just saying, Rauner raised taxes. I say, guys, you know what? We need fundamental reform, term limits, redistricting reform, and we need to grow our economy with structural change. That's what we need in this state.
Governor Bruce Rauner with us. It's Ronnie and Scott on WROK. If Democrats, if Mike Madigan and John Cullerton want the budget that they have passed, they have approved and sent to your desk, why do they not simply approve the tax hike needed to pay for it? They have laid out their priorities. They have put out a budget, Governor. Why not just pay for it the way they want to?
That's exactly right. You're asking the key question. They have super majorities in both houses of the legislature. They could jam through anything they want. If they could vote and do a tax hike, and even though I would veto it, they could override it. But they haven't done that because many Democrats in the General Assembly know that just hiking taxes isn't the right thing, and they don't want to vote for it. They're afraid of Speaker Madigan. They're afraid of what he could do to them, but they're just quietly refusing to vote for a tax hike. And Speaker Madigan knows a lot of them would lose their seats if they just voted for a tax hike. So they're trying to force it on me, and I'm saying, guys, I'll negotiate with you in good faith on a bipartisan basis. But you know what? It would be wrong thing to do, people of Illinois, just to hike taxes on our working families and our small business owners. We need structural reform. Negotiate with us in good faith, and let's get it done. And you know what? We're gradually making progress. A lot of members of the General Assembly, both parties, said, Governor, you're on the right track. We'll be with you. Let's just get Speaker Madigan to get reasonable there. I don't know. I keep hoping that the Speaker will come around. It took us 7 weeks to get the 2015 budget fixed done. We could have done it in a week. This time, it's been close to 2 months since we've had the end of the General Assembly session in May. When Jim Edgar first got into as governor, it was the end of July before they had a budget with Speaker Madigan. I'm hoping that we'll get something done in the next few weeks, but however long it takes, we're going to stay strong, and we're going to get done the right way.
Governor Bruce Rauner with us. It's Ronnie and Scott on WROK. You, of course, are in these negotiations. You had spoken favorably about Senate President Cullerton actually the day before his press conference, saying that he was interested in compromise, interested in talking, getting something done. People ask us, how will this end? Where's the breakthrough going to come? I'll ask you, where do you think the breakthrough will come? What, in your opinion, right now is the most promising path to getting a deal done?
Well, we've been negotiating with all the members of the General Assembly in good faith for weeks and weeks, since frankly, March. And we've made progress, but so far Speaker Madigan hasn't been willing to let the legislators vote on our agenda. It's amazing to me that he's passed an unbalanced budget. He won't vote on taxes because he knows that would be a bad move for him. But we've introduced 5 bills in the General Assembly to do a turnaround on growing jobs, on term limits and redistricting, and he won't allow any of those to get called for a vote because he knows they're good policy. He knows they'll get a lot of support, but he doesn't want to call them because then the reforms will happen and he's resistant. Because frankly, what this is about, it's about challenging the power of the Chicago political machine that Madigan runs and that has controlled our state for decades. He knows that redistricting reform and term limits will take away the power of him and his Chicago machine and give it back to the people of Illinois. So he's afraid. But we're going to stay strong. We're going to get these votes taken, and I believe in the coming weeks we'll get reforms done so we can get the state going in the right direction again.
Does it ever irritate you? Because I know you handle all of these things very good-naturedly, but does it ever, get on your nerves a little bit when you're the one who's actually offered up some compromises, pulled a couple of things back and all that, yet no compromises offered on the other side, but they find the temerity to call you extreme?
That's pretty humorous, actually. You know what? Yeah, sure, it's frustrating. I mean, I'm a human being. I get frustrated. But you know what? I'm persistent. I'm passionate. I love Illinois. I'm a volunteer. I'm doing this because I love the state, and I want to get us strong economically. I've been a business builder my whole life. I'm not taking a salary or a pension, and all I want to do is get Illinois strong and proud again. So, you know what? I'm one of the most persistent guys on the planet. I never give up. I'm relentless. And we're on the right track with our reforms. We're going to do the right thing for the people of the state, and we're just going to stay strong and do whatever it takes to get us going the right way again. The people of Illinois deserve it.
Governor Bruce Rauner with us. I know you got to run here. I did want to get a quick update if we could, because the AFSCME contract with the state ends July 31st, end of July. It's already been extended by 1 month. Can you give us any kind of update on where we are and what the possibility might be of either a strike or a lockout by the end of the week?
Yeah, so we're continuing to negotiate in good faith with AFSCME, which is the biggest government employee union. We want the employees treated well, but we need a new contract that's a little bit more favorable to taxpayers, because taxpayers in the state have been suffering for too long. We were able to work out a good contract with the Teamsters. It was fair on both sides. The Teamsters signed it, and they represent a number of state employees. We're hoping to get a similar contract with AFSCME, the same type that we signed with the Teamsters a few weeks ago. The old contract with AFSCME expired the end of June. We didn't have a deal then, so we extended the negotiations for another 30 days. If we don't have an agreement done this month, I think there's a good chance we'll negotiate another extension, and we'll just keep negotiating in good faith. We'll always work hard to be fair. We'll also work hard to make sure there's always a continuity of service for the government, so the people of Illinois are always served with their government necessary services. So we'll get it done. It just may take a little longer than we prefer.
Governor Rauner, as always, we really appreciate you taking time out of your morning for us.
Thank you so much. It's always great to be with you guys. Have a great day today.
You too.